All right. So today is March 25th. I had to look at the calendar. Today is March 25th, and we're in the Disney Bound training, and Jen Mitchell is going to be teaching on how to inform the opportunity event. So if you guys aren't here on live, but you are watching this as a playback, we want you to text your director and let us know your ahas from this recording so that you can get credit for attendance, which I am going to take right now. So you can go ahead, Jen, and start, and I will grab my attendance book and add everybody in.
Sure. All right. So we're going to just start off. So tonight is the opportunity chat. And for those of you who don't know, an opportunity chat is when you chat with somebody about business opportunity. So potential recruits, people you meet from day to day, people you meet at a party. But before we get into that, we want to talk about last week's homework. So if you want to unmute yourselves. So last week's homework was to do a power hour and reach out to 15 people. Is that right, Sue?
Yeah, 25 is what we talked about. 5 a day for 5 days is kind of the goal.
Yeah. And so we want to know how that went for you all.
Tammy, how'd you do?
I got 2 no's, and the rest of the people just didn't answer at all.
Did you check back?
Yeah, a few of them I did. I didn't do all of them, but yeah. And they still just don't, they still didn't. I mean, they saw it, but they didn't respond.
To your check back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you know what? That happens. I do that too. And sometimes they don't. And sometimes they say, oh, you know, I was in the grocery store and I totally forgot to reply to you. So
that's what I get the most. I get way more of that than I get no's.
Yeah. Yeah. And so go back through and just check in with all the people you didn't check in with yet. How about you, Corey?
I actually got 2 yeses from outside of my friend circle.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I got a couple maybes. I got to think about it, like some that are in school and have kids, and but I'm going to check in with them the end of this week because I didn't get a response from them until the end of last week.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Usually, I give Usually I, check back in 2 days. That's
okay.
I mean, it's not too long and it's not too short either.
Right.
I think I learned that somewhere in Pampered Chef. Does that sound right, Sue? It's usually 2 days. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Who else do we have here? Barb. Hi, Barb. Did you do 25
something waiting to be
25 reach outs or any reach outs over the past week?
No, I've been my own worst enemy this past week. Kind of sabotaging myself, so I'm trying to get back on the bandwagon a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Barb? What do you think was your biggest obstacle this week?
It's me.
Fear of getting on the phone. What?
It's fear of getting on the phone, and I think it's just kind of a little bit of frustration. I'm trying to think of new and different ways to reach out to people, and trying to reach out to people outside of my friend group, which is really like the hardest thing for me. So it's been a little It's been one of those weeks where I just can't get out of my own way. So it's like I'm trying to like push past that and see what I can do. So
yeah, I just want to encourage you that a lot of the times, just like Tammy, she reach out, people aren't responding and all that. It's 30, 60, 90 days from the time that you reach out and talk to somebody that the results show up, and then the ball starts going. So the whole go for no for last week that we were talking about, don't worry about getting a no. And you can copy and paste the same text, just, do 20 at a time and then give Facebook a chance so that they don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like, I can't get anybody engaged, even like in my VIP group, anything like that. Like, there's nothing. So I'm just kind of, it's me. I'm getting into my own head, and I need to just kind of step back, which I'm trying to do. Just step back, center, and then try again. So, but I've already, like, I'm looking at my green dots and trying to actually, like, reach out and do that, because that's my hardest thing. Is doing that.
Great. We'll have a little offline conversation about that. That'll be great.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So I just noticed Danielle is on, and Danielle just joined us today. So if everyone wants to say hi, Danielle, that would be great.
I love your hair.
Thank you.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
All right. So that was last week's kind of homework. I think everyone who was here last had a chance to talk because Danielle wasn't here yet. And so I personally reach out to people regularly, and what Sue said about the 30, 60, 90 is totally true, and I didn't really even see it so much until I started doing this full time, because then I was reaching out to a lot more people, and sometimes I'm offering my first 2 available dates. Hi, Linda. But people are wanting sometimes the next month or the month after that. And so it's true, the people I'm reaching out to now, it'll show up 30, 60, or 90 days later. So let's see. Last week we talked about, what was it, Sue? What was it called? Sorry, prospect. No, it wasn't prospect.
It was, inform and invite. I had to talk at your show about
That's right.
the opportunity to host or to recruit, and then actually ask them at checkout.
Yeah. Okay. So last week's, so based on last week's training, does anybody have any takeaways that they'd like to share?
I just muted some of them, so you'll have to unmute to talk. Oh, Heidi's on too.
Okay.
Come on, girls. What'd you learn from Inform and Invite last week?
Doesn't look like we have anything.
All right. Does anybody remember the bag? We had things that we pulled out of the bag. Tammy's shaking her head. Okay, Tammy, unmute. Give a little blurb. Let me know that somebody paid attention.
Yes, you have a little bag and you have different things in there that pertain to your business, and you can either have somebody pull them out or you can pass them out, and ask people, what do you think this thing, how does it relate to my Pampered Chef?
Exactly.
Different things, like a credit card, blank credit card and different stuff like that.
Yes.
In order to get them information about the business.
Yes. And how did we do that on virtual parties? What types of things? I think even Jen talked about. She showed a picture. She did like guess my commission check. Those are ways of informing information about the business opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you, Tammy.
Okay.
All right, so let's get into the meat of our training about the opportunity chat. So you really want to make it your goal to talk to every host about the business opportunity, okay? How many, raise your hand if you were a host before you were a consultant? I was. Anybody else? Was anyone else a host before they were a consultant?
Yep.
Linda, you were, yeah.
Heidi, yep.
I know Danielle was too. So most of us were hosts before we were consultants. Hosts often make great consultants. And so when a host decides to join your team, it could be before the party that they scheduled with you. And in that case, they could sign up before the party, and they could be both the host and the consultant for the party. So I have 2 girls that just did that. They ended up signing up and then did their own what we call launch party, where they earned the commission and all the host rewards. Now, sometimes a host will decide partway through their party that they want to sign up, or at the end of their party that they want to sign up, like Heidi, or Danielle, or Linda. I believe Linda was one who signed up after her party with me as well. She's nodding. So in that case, you are the consultant on that party. You've earned the commission, but then you give the bookings from that party to your new consultant, because it's their friends, and so then they get the commission for those parties. So when you are talking to people about the business opportunity, the number one thing you want to avoid is something Stephen Joseph talks about, and it's called word vomiting. You want to avoid word vomiting. So salespeople get a bad rep, sometimes for being pushy, right? And that is the last thing we want to be, is pushy. And we also don't, sometimes our eagerness to inform people about the business can come off as being like pushy, or as being like over the top, or maybe even desperate. And the last thing we want is to be any of those. So Pampered Chef actually has these really great opportunity cards, and I'm going to screen share. And I head over into Consultants Corner. So if you go to the full site on Consultants Corner, and then pop over to Training and Resources, I believe, yeah. And then you go to Director Bound Program. And on the right-hand side here, it says call number 5, opportunity chat. And when you go into there are some different resources. So one of them is the digital interview cards, which are actually in a PowerPoint format. They look like this. Okay. And then there are a couple that tell you how to do it with an Android, and how to do it with a Mac. Okay. Now, this 4th thing is the opportunity chat guide, and when you open that, it steps it all out for you, and it gives you words to say. So it scripts it all out for you right there. And so let me go to the PowerPoint. And let's see if I can how do you make it No, slideshow. There it is, slideshow from beginning. Okay.
Good job.
Thanks, Sue. I do what I can.
You're usually the more tech savvy person here. So when you were like, how do I do this? I'm like, oh.
All right. So we're going to flip through these cards so that y'all can see what they look like. So So basically how it works is, you meet with somebody who, wants to learn more about the business. And that is always, how I phrase it. We're not saying like, do you want to be a consultant? I always say, do you want to learn more? Because that's not as big of a risk for them. If they learn more, then it's not like they're saying yes right away or no right away. They're just learning more. And so how it works is you sit down with them and you would bring up this PowerPoint and you ask them about their family, their job, their interests, their dreams. And then you are always, after you offer a little information, you're going to say, would you like to know more? Or are you just ready to get started? Okay. And if they say, I'm ready to get started, you bring them to this. I just clicked on it and it automatically jumped to that, right? So it like skips for you. Now, if you were to click tell me more, then it brings you to the next slide, okay? So if I click tell me more, it brings me to the slide right after. If I click get started, it skips a bunch of slides. Pretty cool, right? So now I'm gonna go back to where I was. All right. So if they said tell me more, then you're going to find out, what interests them about the business, right? Is it the money? Is it the flexibility? Is it the team support we have? I have consultants who've joined us really recently who have tried other direct sales businesses and they got very little to no support and were not successful. I'm really happy to say that one of those girls is about to hit her 1250 in sales right now and qualify in 30 days. So that is awesome. Fun and rewards, simplicity, or the Pampered Chef difference. So if I click on flexibility, it brings me to this. If I click on money, it brings me to this. If I click on support, it brings me to this, right? So it's all linked throughout. It's really cool. All right, so support, free products, recognition and rewards, free vacations. I've got you all at the bottom of my screen here. There we go. Friendships, parties. So you ask them which one would be the most fun. All right, free products for me. All right.
Do you want to role play at all? Any of those? If you do, just let me know.
Let's wait. Let's
see if you have time at the end.
Well, let's go through these and just get a sense of what's all in here. Okay. So then you get to the kit. So this month only, we have that $39 starter kit, which has been flying off the shelves, but typically we have these 3. Okay. And so if you click on it, it shows you more about that kit. So I can click on this one, it'll show me more about this one. Click on that one, shows me more about that one. If I want to get started, I can push the get started button and it's going to bring me right to pamperedchef.com to sign up. Questions about these? All right. So, Sue, we can do an opportunity chat if you want.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, I think that would be great because I think that if they hear how it goes, like you can be on, Jen could be on the phone in Georgia. I could be her recruit lead in New Hampshire. Let's say the person, I mean, sometimes you're just texting back and forth, but maybe you're PowerPointing with them over Zoom, or maybe you just have this in front of you and you start talking through that. So Jen would start out with the first one.
Yeah. And so what I would do is I would go right to my opportunity chat guide, right? And so if it's a phone call, you know, I might not say thank you for joining me, but I might say thank you for chatting with me today. I'm glad you're here, Sue.
Thanks.
So Sue, I've noticed that you are so friendly. And I'm really, you know, it's so cool that we both have college-age kids.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And, you know, you were so much fun at, whose party? What name should I use? You were so much fun at Betty's party. What did you like most about the party?
I liked how you answered a lot of the cooking tip questions, because I'm really not a cook and I was really nervous about that.
Oh my gosh, I hate cooking. So we are two peas in a pod. What else? Was there anything else you really loved about the party?
Well, I like the games, but I really liked the little short videos. If I decide to become a consultant, do I have to make my own videos?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Almost everything you would need is on the Pampered Chef website. We have a whole section for marketing imagery, and it has videos, it has like GIFs, it has everything, photos. So it's really stepped out for you.
Cool.
So I've created kind of like a connection with Sue. I've got her talking a little bit, right? And so then I'm going to tell her, I'm so excited to share about the business opportunity with you.
And one of the common questions I use a lot when I'm meeting with somebody live, Jen, is I'll say, so tell me, what about the Pampered Chef business interested you? Because then they start like, oh, I could use some extra money. You get to know why they're interested in it. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I just want to get out, or, you know, I really need to make a mortgage payment. My husband just lost his job. You know, sometimes you get those type of responses that will kind of help you go a little bit further onto what that they're looking for.
Yes, and that is right here. That is right where Sue and I are going. Yep. I'm so excited to share our wonderful business opportunity with you. So, Sue, why did you decide to meet with me today? Is how they say it in here. But like Sue just said, you could use your own words. So, Sue, what interests you about the business opportunity?
Gosh, I love kitchen gadgets, and I always decided that if I was ever going to sell something, it was going to be Pampered Chef. I mean, I like Tupperware and I like jewelry and all that, but nothing beats Pampered Chef. So it's the products.
I love the products too. I was going to say, I can't go a day without using them in my kitchen.
Mm.
And it's important to sell something that you like and believe in. All right, so then step 2 is I'm going to bring Sue to the, I would take out the slides if we were there with each other. And I would tell her, I'm going to use these slides to help me stay on track and make sure I answer all the questions you might have about the Pampered Chef business opportunity. So then I say, first of all, I'd like to get to know you even better. And I would bring up this, right? And I'd be on this slide. So Sue, tell me about your family.
I've been married about 27 years, and I have a 23-year-old and a newly 21-year-old daughter.
Wow. So tell me, how would your family, and I'm reading right off of here, how would your family feel if you decided to do this?
Gosh, I don't know. I haven't talked to them about it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. You know, do you think they would be happy about it?
Yeah, I think they'd be fine. My kids are out of the house, and my husband's pretty supportive no matter what I do.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Well, I'm sure you'll have some time to chat with them about it too. So then I'm going to talk about.
I'm answering that way because that's what I hear sometimes. So just so you know.
Yeah. And then I would ask her about her occupation. Are you currently working outside the home?
No. I've been a stay-at-home mom all these years. Been so lucky to do that.
Oh, wow. That's definitely a blessing. I'd always wished I'd been able to do that when my daughter was younger. I'm doing it now that she's older.
Awesome.
What other work experiences have you had?
Oh, I used to be in sales. I used to work for Century 21. I ran a business printing organization. I was the front desk person, did all the hiring, firing, quoting, etc. That for many years before having kids. So I have a business degree background.
Wow. So it sounds like all of those things would really actually help you as a consultant. All of that customer service and just all of the stuff you've done with business. And now I'm going to move to interests right here. What clubs or organizations do you belong to?
Don't really have any clubs. I go to church, and I used to be part of a gym, but I don't go to the gym anymore. So just my church.
Nice. Oh, I bet your church would love to do a fundraiser or something along those lines. You guys could probably raise a lot of money doing a Pampered Chef fundraiser.
Oh yeah, the missions trip's always looking for money. Maybe I'll talk to them.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly what I was just thinking. So I'm taking the tips that they're giving us right here, you guys. So now
And
I
the
move on to
reason she's asking those questions, just an FYI, is let's say she's got younger kids, the kids are in school, and then she's involved in a knitting club, and she's involved in the PTA, and she's involved in, you know, the schools or the local community center or something. She's on the volunteer board of XYZ. That helps you know where her business can infiltrate, basically, like Jen was saying, fundraiser at church or school, or, you know, those type of situations. If you belong to a gym, you can offer your services to offer a fast fresh weeknight meal presentation for 30 minutes at your local gym, Planet Fitness or whatever, as a guest speaker.
And then the last question I asked her for that slide is dreams. Sue, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want this business to do for you?
I would love to travel and go on vacation. That is my hot button. So I would want to be able to travel probably 3 times a year, most likely
nice.
to warm locations.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we can definitely chat about how many parties you would need to do each month to bring in the income to do that. And, you know, if you didn't know this, Pampered Chef actually has a free trip every year that you can earn. This year, I'm going to a 5-star resort in Arizona. There was a different trip this year that people earned to Hawaii. And next year, it's a free trip for 4 to Disney World.
Wow, for 4.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Mm.
So then it even tells me right here, tap to move to the next slide. So I know in my PowerPoint, I have to move to the next slide. Whoops, where's my PowerPoint? There it is. All right. So it looks like I'm asking her. So Sue, would you like to know more, or are you ready to get started?
Well, I probably need to know a little bit more. I have some questions.
Okay, sure. Find out if, so it says, find out if they need more information if they're ready to get started. So she needs more information.
Yeah.
So
if she taps that next more, it opens up a collage of questions. So she taps that, and then she'll ask, so do you need, you know, which of these do you want more information about? Do you want more information about the money, the flexibility, the support, the rewards, the simplicity, or the difference that PC makes versus other companies? So some people want all of it.
Yeah.
Most people want the money and the support. So let's do those 2.
All right. So Sue, which of these interest you?
I'd like to know more about how much money I can make.
Sure. All right. So basically, your earning potential is endless. There are kind of 4 different categories that we talk about. Fun money, supporting your household budget, having a big financial goal, right? Which is kind of like your vacations, maybe, or maybe that would fall under more money for fun. I guess it depends where you want to go and how much it's going to cost.
That would be a big financial goal. I want to fly places.
Yeah. And then, there are also people who work full time. And you can see right on here how many hours per week they say to put in order to make that sort of an income per month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody that's making that kind of money, Jen?
For which one?
Just full-time income?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My director makes this income for working full-time. And I am working up to a full-time schedule right now. So I suspect that I will be doing that shortly.
Yes. Awesome.
And were there any others that interested you that you wanted to know about?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about the support and training.
Sure. So what kind of support would be important to you? We have all of these.
I guess the local team training.
Local team meeting? Sure. Whoops, what happened?
Well, so basically on the thing, it's just, she just, typically when I go through this, I would just say, so we have national and regional trainings, meaning once a year we have a national conference, twice a year, spring and fall kickoff, we have regional trainings that you can attend. We also have, so you would just roll down through these 24-hour online. So if you're a morning person, you can get up and take a class on the topic that you don't know. If you're a night owl, you can stay up late and do it. So what are you, Jen? Are you a night owl or a morning person?
Well, that's hard to say because I go back and forth now that I don't have to work. I used to be more of a morning person.
So that's what I would do is I would just go down through them and let them know that, we have a 800 number. They can call at any time. There are local team meetings that our directors do online. We do them online now. We used to do them live. So when you're going through this, Tammy and Carrie and you guys, you're going to say there are local team meetings that our directors do that are on, first and third Tuesdays of every month. And then it's a 1-hour training call and that they can do it from anywhere on their phone. So it doesn't matter where they're at. They can always join in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically they're going to give you prompts. And once you know what's on the slide, like once you read through that opportunity chat guide that Jen's going through right now, you'll have an idea and the slide will be enough to prompt you on what to say if you don't know what to say. But if you're somebody who really needs word choices and you want to have word choices memorized, just have the opportunity chat thing printed out in front of you and just follow along with your finger as you're talking to them on the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, what I do is I really just ask people, what questions do you have for me about the business opportunity? And then I answer them.
Yep, perfect.
All right. So Sue and I talked about which of these interest you. So, and it says, as you get used to using the slides, you may come up with other questions that work well. When covering these slides, you don't need to cover every bullet point. Focus on what's most important to your potential recruit. So you can say things like, what stands out to you on this card? Then say, is there anything else? Or, oh, this might be where I got it. What other questions do you have on this topic? So here's the biggest thing. The point is to have a 50-50 conversation. And if you find that you're talking more than 50% of the time, then you might be talking too much. Okay. Now, once you finish the topics they're interested in, you finish up. So I'll say, Sue, what other questions can I answer for you?
Are there minimums that I have to do?
Okay, that's a great question. So, to be considered an active consultant, you submit $150 in sales every other month. So to stay active, you would want to do that. Now you can go, if you go 6 months inactive, then you'd lose your consultant status, and to get started again, you would have to buy a new kit.
So technically it's really 150 every month to be considered active. If you go every other month, you don't lose career sales. So the career sales.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So the career sales, for those of you who are brandy new, once you've hit 15,000 in career sales, you get a raise. You get a 10% raise. So you earn 22 to 27% instead of 20 to 25%. So you don't want to lose that.
That's
right. The only question I have for you, Jen.
Okay, great. So, would you like to know how easy it is to get started?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. And then I'd be on my PowerPoint and I'd click the Get Started icon. And we would get her started.
Yay!
Simple.
Super cute girl.
Yeah.
There's Mary Haynes, our friend.
Questions, ladies? You can unmute yourself if you want to ask any questions about that.
I have a question about actually where it showed the amount of money that you can make, like 15 hours, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What does that include? Like if someone were to ask me, is that total hours, or is that just like party hours?
So it says earnings and time invested are not necessarily
it's way down there.
represented of the income, if any, that an independent consultant can or will earn. Less than 1% of Pampered Chef consultants earn the highest average monthly income shown. Pampered Chef doesn't promise or guarantee income.
Yeah,
nor the
45,000.
Yeah, so actually, does that answer your question?
I'll tell you how I answer it if you want, if that you think that would be helpful. The first thing I say to my people is, if I'm doing a live show constitutes 4 hours total. That's talking to my hostess before the show, showing up at the show and doing the show, talking to my hostess after the show, and closing the show. A 4-hour shift is 1 shift. So I can do 2 shifts in an 8-hour day. I can go do 2 shows on a Saturday and do 2 shows. And then I explain to them that you're doing I do 8 to 10 shows a month. So they can figure out, 8 to 10 4-hour shifts. So that figures part of it out. And then I always say to them, as a director, I put in at least 25 hours a week in training new consultants and doing team trainings and creating PowerPoints and stuff like that. So the leadership level does require more time frame.
Because I was saying, like the first one is like 1 to 3 hours, and you get like $110.
Right. So that's.
I mean, that doesn't count like talking to people, setting up, asking them for parties.
Right.
Stuff like trying to generate business and stuff. That's that's why I was wondering. Like.
Right. That's like
just the show itself.
Doing the business. Right. That's part of the prospecting and stuff like that would be added extra. I've never had anybody ask me more than, how many hours do you work? And then I just break it down for them.
Yeah.
I do 8 to 10 shows a week. This is how many hours a show takes. And then I put in an X amount of time as I use the term manager now. a leader, manager, because people don't understand what a director, an advanced director, you know, those pampered chefy terms.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so sometimes people aren't going to say yes. They might say, I need to think about it, right? And so you can say something like, would you mind sharing what's keeping you from saying yes today? Or you could say, I love that you need to think about it. That tells me you're serious about this decision. Do you mind if I ask what part of it you need to think about? I want to be sure I've answered all your questions. And I like that they give you an option so that, you know, you can choose what feels more comfortable to you. And then, you know, if they have additional questions and you answer them, then you can, you know, see if they're ready to get started. But if they're not, then you're going to set up a date and time to reconnect. So when I talk to my hosts, I tell them I'm going to check in with them before the end of their party. If I'm talking to someone who's not a host, then I say, look this over, and I'll connect with you in a couple days. I'll check in. Now, if people aren't interested, then we just say thank you. And, if that changes, I'd love to be the one you work with, and let's stay in touch.
And one of the things that I learned from Karen Batty, my friend that trained me, she says, so Tammy, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning you need more information and 10 meaning you just need to know how to get started, where are you? That lets them decide on a scale where they are. So that's kind of like one of the questions that Jen just said earlier. But again, there are other word choices that you can use if those word choices just didn't feel comfortable to you. And I just keep asking that same question after you answer their questions. Great. Did I answer your questions enough? Is there anything else that you need from me? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you?
I just accidentally closed out of my browser. The next thing that I was going to show you all. So on your personal website, you may know this, you may not. There is a section called Be a Consultant. Okay. And so here there's this Join Now button, right? There's information about the kits and the Spring Starter Kit. What does a consultant do? Why you'll love it. There are videos of people and their story, quick little videos. All 3 kits are there, and there's even a button you can click to see what's in every kit. It'll give you a PDF. Another Join Now button. Why Pampered Chef, right? It talks about the more you sell, the more you earn, the product discounts, all the specials that are paid for by Pampered Chef, how it works, right? They can even go down here and like watch all of these videos, almost all together, like an hour or more worth of videos if they want to know a lot more. And so what I would like for us to do is kind of brainstorm how you can use these resources. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. And let's have everybody chime in.
If you're on your, oh, sorry, they're muted. I'm unmuting you all. I'm unmuting you. We're gonna have to talk, haha. All right, so can you all find these recruiting cards? Can you access them?
I probably can.
Okay. Anybody having problems finding them?
1 minute.
I missed the beginning, so I'm not sure where you're getting them.
Okay, good. Jen, will you repeat the process of training and where to go, director bound, and the cards? Because they're going to need to use that this week and do a trial one.
So you're going to go into Consultant's Corner. Full site, training and resources, director bound program, opportunity chat, digital interview cards.
Thank you, Jen. Anybody have any questions about what Jen presented? About the interview cards?
Anyone have any ideas about how you could use the resources on the Be a Consultant page?
I actually have one question.
Yeah.
I've had a past host who is interested, but she's not ready yet. Like, how many times should I approach her? Like, I don't want to be pushy, but like, I've been checking in with her like once a month, once every couple weeks. Like,
So if someone tells me that they're not interested at the time, right, then or they're not ready yet, then I let them know that I will stay in touch with them. And at the beginning of every month, I'm going to send them the new consultant special.
okay.
So that way I'm not feeling pushy because I've told them, you know, okay, I totally get it. That's totally fine. I'll stay in touch with you about the new consultant special each month.
Okay.
You know, and then I send it to them and, you know, I say, oh, you know, this is what it is. And then, you know, what do you think? And a couple days later, if I don't hear back, I'll check in with them. Hey, did you have a chance to look at it? And how are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Okay.
Yeah, and Jen usually asks them, like when she's chatting with them, she's usually asking them when they say they're not ready, you're going to ask that question. Do you just need more information? You need to find out why they're not ready. Is it I'm waiting for my tax return? Is it I need to wait till I'm done my second job? She's waiting for something, but you need to know what that something is so that you know when to follow back up. Or you could just simply ask her, when would you like me to follow back up with you, Barbara, about this?
Okay.
Would you like me to follow back up next month when I know next month's special for signing on the new consultants? Definitely tell her, hey, Barb, I know that the $39 kit is going to not be available next month. I know that you said you weren't ready now. I wasn't sure when you wanted me to follow up with you. I just wanted to remind you that this month alone is for the cost of a gallon of a tank of gas.
Right. Okay.
But if you're not ready now, when would be a good time for me to follow back up with you? And they'll tell you. Talk to me in the summer. I'm a teacher. I'm too busy now. Or talk to me and, they'll tell you.
Okay. Excellent.
Good questions.
So, Jen, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you're on a virtual party and you've reached out to someone in a private message,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be messaging these questions, or are you somehow going to get them onto a screen to see these slides?
Honestly, I don't know all of my opportunity chats, except for one woman that I met at the post office who ended up joining my team. So I actually met her in real life, and then we met in real life. So aside from that, all of my opportunity chats happen in like Facebook Messenger. You
Okay.
know, Elizabeth, who's on tonight, was a host of mine. Our chat happened in Facebook Messenger without those slides involved. Danielle, same thing. You know, pretty much anyone who's on my team, you know, their opportunity chat just happened in Facebook Messenger without the cards.
Okay. And did you send them a link to that page with the videos and on your website?
Yes, I actually put that link right into my parties in into a couple of my recruiting posts. I say, if you want to know more, click this link.
Okay.
And, you know, typically, that's not something, if someone's talking to me about the business, I don't like throw that right out there at them. First, I find out what questions can I answer for them, you know, and then if they ask me something or want to, you know, think about it some more, I might say, you know, there's a section on my website that you can look at.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, so let's chat about homework, if no one else has any more questions. So the homework for this week is to practice using those digital interview cards with the opportunity chat guide. And you need to do that with 3 people. Okay? Doesn't have to be like, if you don't have any real recruit leads, it can be pretend recruit leads. And you never know, sometimes those people actually end up joining your team, even though they were just pretending and helping you.
It happens all the time.
And you're also going to want to continue with your power hour, 15 contacts a week, or, you know, even better is 5 contacts a day. Do your power hour.
When you reach out to do your power hour, Jen, you're doing the, hey, are you doing the Stephen Joseph, I'm looking for, you know, like he did the casting my net wide?
Yeah, sometimes. I did that for a bit, and right now I actually am I'm trying to book my April solid with 32 parties. I'm 13 away.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so I am offering actually an incentive for my hosts. I have an extra batter mixer dispenser and an extra grater, one of the quick prep food graters. And so all of my April hosts are going to be entered into a raffle. And so when I'm doing my power hours right now, I'm reaching out to people and telling them about that and offering them an April date or 2.
Awesome. You guys know what you need to be doing, right? Okay. So print off the cards. You can use the cards or not. They're jump points for you. Jen, you know, was saying that she does most of hers through messaging. So they're jump points for you to know what to do. So the goal of the overall point of what Jen was teaching you tonight was connect with your guest. Find out their interests. Find out why they're interested in Pampered Chef. Like, what can Pampered Chef do to help them? How does their everyday life connect with Pampered Chef? Their groups, their church, their kids, their sports, all of that. Like, how does that all connect? Then answer whatever questions. So you're asking them questions about themselves. And then you ask them, tell me, what is it that you need to know more of, or do you just need to know how to get started? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? I'm a 5. Great. What would you like to know more about? And here are some options. Do you want to know more about the money, more about the blah, 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 blah? They get to pick. And then you go, okay. And then you tell just what you need to tell about that and no more, as Jen said. And then, okay, is there any other questions you have? When I started using that format, I realized I was the one that had diarrhea of the mouth, and I was telling them way too much.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that I always made in the beginning, too. But people normally, when I say, what questions do you have, they have very specific questions that they want to know the answers to.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing to remember too, like I actually hate the word recruiting. I was telling somebody that recently. I don't like that because I don't feel like that's what I'm doing. I feel like I am offering people an opportunity that could help them in some way. You know, like I'm going to use Elizabeth as an example, you know, because she had hesitations. You know, she'd been in direct sales before, and she did not have a great experience. But she was sharing with me, you know, like she kind of wanted to, you know, but she had that negative experience. And, you know, but it's about getting to know the person, offering them your support and help, you know, because sometimes they really want to do it, but there's just some fear there, you know.
It's been a much better experience.
Yay!
Yeah, she's submitting her first 1250 in less than a month.
Yep. I'm actually working on that right now.
PC dollars. Do you know what you're going to spend your Pampered Chef dollars on?
No, not yet.
Yeah, now you'll be chatting with Jen. She'll tell you something. Now, are you doing all virtual?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, good for you. Were you virtual before?
Kind of. I did candles, and candles are hard to do virtual. So
yeah. This is much easier. You can cook live. You can just show videos of the food, and everybody's watching the Food Network. We are the hottest thing. Our market is so hot right now, girls. You got to know it. People eat, even if you hate to cook, like Jen and I.
I hate to cook too. My husband does it all.
Oh, see, girls, it doesn't. You don't have to be a good cook to be good.
It doesn't even matter.
Right. And as Tammy can tell, you don't even have to know how to spell. Oh my gosh, she's in one of my virtual parties. She's texted me twice. She's like, I think you meant vanilla extract, because I must have been talking to text and it said vanilla exact. So I made the first typo a game. I was like, the first person to find my typo gets 20 points. You know, like, just don't stress about those things. Life doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You too could be a Pampered Chef consultant.
Exactly.
I used that at my cooking show, Sue.
Jen
so
uses that with me all the
On
time.
the floor, and I was like, you too can be a Pampered Chef consultant.
Yay! I love it. I love it. Point your mistakes out. Make fun of yourself. It's a secret for success.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
All right.